Welcome back to another episode of Thumb Strong Podcast. Today we're going to talk about changing your lens, changing your life, the power of perception in health, stress, and mental resilience. So in other words, our perception shapes our reality in life, and we can manipulate that to basically change the outcome of our life, right? And predict the future, for ourselves.
There you go.
Not predict the future. Predict our future, though. The trajectory of where our life is headed, right?
Yes.
It's a deep podcast today.
So, Barry, I'm sure you probably were envisioning and predicting that you're going to be a college baseball player when you're like 15 and a half.
Yeah, my goal, that goal probably started when I was like, probably 15.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Guess what? Now you're living that reality.
I know.
Because you
Isn't that
set that
crazy?
lens. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it's awesome. So, we'll get into section one. Barry,
take it away.
Take it off.
Section 1 is about Plato's Cave. If you don't know what Plato's Cave is, basically, Plato tells the story of prisoners in a cave, and they're chained from birth to face a wall, and the only thing that they see are shadows that are cast by a fire from other people. So, again, that's all they see when they're born, and to them, the shadows are reality. But one prisoner escapes, and he sees the real world. So he goes out, sees the sun, sees the trees, sees real people. He comes back and he tells the others, but they reject him, and they cling to the shadows. So the point to this is that most people are still chained to the wall and watching the shadows. And this could be, like people are watching social media, and toxic diet culture is a big one too. Fitness marketing. Stress passed down from parents, teachers, and media. So I don't know. I like the Plato's Cave. Most people live in ignorance, so mistaking appearances for reality. So I really like this metaphor, and the picture. If you ever curious, look up Plato's Cave. It gives a really good picture of it.
So it's almost like a false reality.
It's almost like a false reality. So almost
they're
like
painting an image of like in social media, usually the image is like unrealistically good.
yeah.
But
You're
in
almost
this, I guess it doesn't really. It's not really.
if you're the prisoner, so say, you're living by what other people are telling you to live by. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you're letting other people control your actions, when in reality, you don't need to do that, and that's not even your own thoughts. They're other people's thoughts about you.
Yeah.
Or they're controlling your perception.
Yeah.
Because, the people that chained them there were having the puppets move and, controlling what they saw. And then that was their reality until the one guy got out and was like, oh, this isn't what actually, the people are moving the puppets. And, they're, changing what you perceive. But the other people were so, ingrained into
Yeah.
what they believed that they didn't want to change. They were just like, no, this is comfortable. This is what I know my whole life. And so they didn't want to, break out of the chains.
Yeah.
There's this one saying, it says, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I'm who, it gets confusing, I'm who I think that you think I am. So it's almost like I'm doing things for others because I want them to see me in a certain light and not trying to be your authentic self. I'm a big believer in, if I'm myself, then I'll have the correct people in my life because they like who I am. And if they don't like who I am, then I don't need them in my life. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you're sticking with the social media part of it too, we cast those shadows upon ourselves. A lot of time, it's not always other people intentionally casting those shadows into our life. We're putting those shadows in our life.
Yeah.
If
Because
it's-
of how we perceive it.
Yeah.
Exactly. If it's through social media, and we're following these very successful people, or models, or athletes, right? And there's there's in certain ways it's good to look up to those kind of people, but at the same time, you know what I mean? You're watching somebody else live their life under a certain light, and you're like, that's cool. That's how I want to be. That's just what I need to do to be like them. When, like you said, you shouldn't be really trying to separate yourself from what other people's perspective is and how they're doing things and be yourself.
Yeah. We were talking about this the other day about putting people too high on a pedestal.
Yeah.
That it just kind of brings you down. So I
We're
say,
kind of
like, we were talking about like really good athletes,
Yeah.
and you look up to them in a way, which is good. You should have role models in your life, but I think we just put them on too high of a pedestal, and we think that we're never going to get at that level. You know what I mean? Or anyone in your life, anyone that you think, oh my gosh, they're so amazing at this, they're so really good at this, and I'm never going to be able to get there. That's not true. They're human. They got there. What's stopping you from getting to that point as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're kind of like, sorry, the last thing. We were like patting ourselves in the back yesterday. Or I was, all three of us after that workout. I was like, do you ever think about like how hard some of these workouts are and like how fit we actually are? You know, like in reference to the general population. It's like, yeah, like sometimes it's good to like see yourself in that light and appreciate like the hard work that you put in. But then we got into like he was saying, like how we act like we're so far behind from all of these crazy athletes, and when in reality we should be appreciating the work and like where we're at.
Exactly. One quick note too on like going back to the social media and people that you're following and looking up to and aspiring to be like. You got to understand that most posts that people make are only of the good things that are going on in life. You know, like they might be posting, oh, this great family vacation in, you know, in Hawaii or something, somewhere crazy. Oh, I wish I could do that. But then maybe their life isn't so great outside of that, or you know, maybe they're unhappy or stressed or whatever. So it's like you're almost chasing something that isn't actually reality. You know what I mean? We don't post about the bad stuff that's going on, the negative things typically. We're only usually showing off the good things. So a lot of social media isn't really realistic. So we can bring ourselves down by thinking, oh, I don't have that, I'm not like this person, etc. When most of the time they're not actually living maybe the life that they want to live either.
And you can relate that back to Plato's Cave because the social media aspect, that's the puppets casting the shadows on the wall. And us,
it's not actually them.
It's not actually them. And us as the prisoners, that's the only thing we see. We only see their such amazing life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in reality, it might not be that good.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people like love watching these athletes on YouTube now, which I do too. I do. But so like they'll sit and they'll watch these guys like doing Ironmans or doing all these successful people on YouTube doing these vlogs or whatever, watching them live their life. I'm like, go out and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Like quit sitting on your couch and like watching them. Like, Mary's gonna sign up for an Ironman. He just bought a bike.
Yeah.
Right. Like I watched marathon. And I just ran one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just see that all the time. It's crazy.
It's weird because I've had that mentality for a long time. Like I remember in college when I was, 20 years old, and I'd watch all my roommates just obsess over these NBA players and MLB players, and they would fight with each other about who's better and what team's better. I'm like, how can you guys literally fight with each other and argue about somebody else that you don't even know, who doesn't give a shit about you? They're just chasing their dreams.
Yeah.
And it's like you're literally ruining your own relationship with each other because of somebody else that you don't know. It's like, go out and just try to be a better version of yourself. Why are you guys worrying about these guys? That's what my mentality has always been. And like, people ask me all the time, like, oh, did you see the game the other day? I'm like, nope. I don't watch any sports because I'm focusing on myself and being the best I can be. I'm not trying to obsess about somebody else that's living their dream, I don't know why, and I could be wrong on that, but that's just my mentality for a long time.
No, I think the same way. My friends at school make fun of me because I'm a college athlete, and all my teammates is like, hey, this game, that game, this player, that player, new record, this like that. Like, dude, you saw a game last night? No.
No.
It's like I was asleep.
Yeah, I was either asleep or doing something better with my time than staying up till 11 o'clock watching a game. You know what I mean?
I'm the exact opposite.
I remember my grandpa told me one time, I was watching YouTube. This is when I was probably in high school. I was watching YouTube of someone playing video games.
Yeah.
And my grandpa looks at me, and it kind of just slapped me in the face, and I didn't realize it. He goes, why are you watching someone else play that game? I was like, I don't know. I guess it's entertaining. He goes, why don't you just play the game yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of I'm watching someone else do it.
Yeah. that blew my mind because that was not a thing when I was growing up. Like,
Yeah.
we all played video games too. Like we played Call of Duty, Halo, all that stuff, Guitar Hero, whatever. But yeah, when I heard somebody say that kids now watch other kids play Halo, Call of Duty, all these games because it stresses them out too much to play it
Yeah.
on their own, I was like, what?
Oh
Yeah.
Dude, there's
That's a real thing.
guys
Like,
on Twitch that'll stream for 2 hours and make $1 million.
yeah, it's like
Because so many
do what
people
they're
watch
doing. I mean, if they're I don't know. It's
Anyway,
crazy. Anyway,
Section 2.
we'll go into section 2. Yeah, we were stuck in section 1 for a while.
That's alright.
All right. Yeah, it was good. Good. So your brain doesn't show you reality; it shows you what you expect. So kind of into what we were talking about. So your brain runs on what is that? Schemas. Yeah. Mental models shaped by past experiences, beliefs, and social conditions. The reticular activating system literally filters what you notice based on what you already believe. So if you believe I always fall off track, I'm not athletic, I'll never lose the weight, then your brain will subconsciously search for the evidence to prove that to be true. So your thoughts are not facts, but they become facts if you repeat them longer, which is powerful stuff.
Yeah, so like an easy way to think of the reticular activating system is like when you get a new car.
Yep. Talk about
That's the
this
best
a lot.
example. It's like you get a new car, all of a sudden you're noticing that car everywhere. And
Did you start
Oh.
noticing any GMC Sierras
Yeah.
when you got your truck?
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Same, like, almost exact same ones.
right. And you're just like, wow, like these were all here before, but like I literally didn't notice it because your brain filters it as not important.
Yeah.
But as soon as it has a different importance to you, you start to notice it more. So, yeah, it's like if you internally believe like your identity or your belief about yourself is like, oh, I'm not a fit person, like I'm not disciplined, it's like I'm not gonna be able to stick to this new plan that I just started, then your brain is just gonna keep finding reasons for why that's true. Rather than like you have to essentially prove that old thing wrong, and you have to intentionally look, hey, what proves this wrong, and work on building that muscle to help like rewire that brain loop.
There's one that I use, so like when I was running my marathon, or really any goal that I have in life, whether it's like professional or personal, if I ever feel myself, I just thought of this because I didn't unintentionally used it, but if I ever feel myself getting like discouraged or like losing motivation, or like I don't know, you know, if this is, that's like I'll think in my head like there's nothing that is gonna stop me from reaching this goal. I will do absolutely, like I'm saying this in my head, I will do absolutely whatever it takes. I will get there, like confidently in my head, and you can literally see in your or like feel in your thoughts like it flips a switch, and you're like, let's go, you know.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like Barry does it on a daily basis.
I have a lot of ad libs in my head that go on, but yeah, I could for the whole podcast I could name every single one that goes on in my head. But yeah, the one that came to my head when we were talking about this is when we come in and it's like it's a good day to have a good day. You know what I mean? It's a good day to have a good day. Or we come in for a workout. Like yesterday, I was dragging. I had hit legs, so I had some heavy deadlifts yesterday, and I was like, oh, my legs were sore. It's like, shoot, I'm here though. That's what I kept saying. I'm here though, and I kept warming up. I'm still here. I'm still here. I don't know. I started working out.
Yep.
I got a lot of ad libs, so
Yeah.
I could.
But you
run on
feel
that.
that like flip of the switch
Yeah,
sometimes when you start using those, like, intentionally using those thoughts.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I remember Barry in high school, he would come in and he'd get the biggest whiteboard he could find, and he'd write down all the teams he lost to,
Oh yeah. I
in
did
a
that too.
game.
Yeah.
and then he'd look at that
That's a good
in between every single set,
Yeah.
and he would remind himself of why he's in there doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
I did that
basically.
too. Like I said,
I
I
thought that
do
was
a lot
cool.
of just crazy stuff,
Yeah.
but it works for me. So
Crazy guy.
I was yelling and
So
screaming.
a lot of yelling and screaming is that's a big part of
It
it.
works.
A lot of
you
kind of
were
Ronnie
dancing
Coleman.
yesterday.
What?
A lot of
Dancing.
Oh yeah, and dancing. Depends on the day. Sometimes I'm locked in yelling. Sometimes I'm loosey goosey on the phone. It just depends on the day.
You gotta stay a little loosey goosey sometimes.
Yeah.
a lot of Ronnie Coleman quotes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a big one.
Is this mine?
Yes, that's yours. I put mine down. All right, section number 3. Your perception becomes physiology. So this is really interesting. There's a couple of different studies I wanted to mention. There's one from Crum and Langer, 2007. They had hotel maids who were told that their job counted as exercise, and they lost weight, saw improvements in blood pressure despite no behavior change, and they saw body composition changes compared to the group that just continued doing their job as regular, like they weren't told anything. So comparatively, just them believing, oh, this is exercise, their body actually made changes. So really it was just like their change in how they viewed it and their perception changed their body. Like people talk about the placebo effect all the time, or maybe not all the time for all people, but it's a fairly well-known phenomenon, the placebo effect. And so that can just be from believing something just like this, of like, hey, my job counts as exercise, and then believing that, then that ends up changing things. So then there's another study. Yeah, there you go. There's
I wish that's how it worked.
Crum, Salavi, and Anchor in 2013. When participants were taught to see stress as enhancing, or like it made them better, they had healthier cortisol responses and better focus and higher performance than those that like either weren't told it or were told that stress was actually a threat. Like stress was bad for you. But if you're told that stress is good for you, it's enhancing, it helps you to be adaptable, then they have better responses to it.
That reminds me of like when you get nervous before you're going to give a speech, or you're going on stage, or you're before a game, something like that. Like you get butterflies and you get nervous. And then somebody tells you, okay, oh no, that's just your body preparing itself for what you're about to go do. You're like, oh, okay, cool, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if nobody told you that, you'd think, oh no, I'm nervous. Like what am I? You're actually you perceive it as a bad thing. I shouldn't be nervous. I've done this 100 times.
Yeah.
Right? However, it's actually a good thing for your body. It's preparing itself, getting the blood flowing, like you're getting focused. And if you think about it in the other way, oh, it's preparing me for this event or this situation or game, whatever, then you're going to go out there and perform even better. So it's kind of cool. Like you're just literally changing the perception of the same feeling,
Right.
two different outcomes.
Like you told me, you're not nervous, you're excited.
Yeah, you're not nervous. Yeah, that's
And that
exactly
you care.
it. Exactly it.
It's like it just means you care.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's important to you.
Yeah.
But even like for stressful things, right? People can make anything stressful. Some people are stressed because what was it? Oh, like with trying to figure out things for their kids and stuff like that, and like juggling a bunch of different things. But Keelan, who's not here, she could weigh in on it if she was here. I saw her post about it, how she's blessed to have, like, she has 202, like a 2-year-old and then a baby, and like, blessed to be able to have that time with them, and, even though it's a lot, and people would be like, oh my gosh, it's so stressful. Like, it's usually kind of like the knee-jerk reaction of like, oh, it's hard, it's stressful, like, I'm not getting so much sleep, and like, she's choosing to view it as like, oh, how great is it that like we have this, and like, or even like having dirty dishes. It's like instead of viewing it as a stressful thing, it's like how great is it that we have food to dirty those dishes, and like seeing these usual stressful things or these obstacles instead is like an opportunity to be grateful for what you do have.
And that kind of ties into section 4, where that goes into stress isn't a problem, your story about it is. So another study done by Keller in 2012, people who believed stress was harmful had a 43% higher mortality rate, even with the same stress load. So you just see stress, and you can see it in a bad way or a good way. Like you said with the dishes, you're like, oh, I can have so many dirty dishes, but, oh, I can have food on my plate.
Yeah.
But unlike some people can't have that, you know what I mean? Some people
Yeah.
don't have a warm, every spoon like it, so that's just how it is. There's a quote that says, stress becomes toxic not when it's high, but when it feels hopeless, purposeless, or shameful. So again, when you feel like there's only bad stress, that's when stress becomes bad.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to think of it in a positive way. Other examples saying I'm overwhelmed, but you could switch that to my life is full because I care.
Yeah.
So you have a lot on your plate, but you got a lot that you care for, which is really good.
Right.
or this is too much, but this is stretching me into someone stronger.
Yeah. But it's like, hey, this is pushing my boundaries.
Yeah. In your body, comfort zone.
Yeah, pushing your capabilities to make you better.
What Kelly Clarkson said.
What doesn't kill you makes
There
you
you go.
stronger.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is something that I just kind of changed my perception on recently is, as you guys know, I spent a lot of afternoons going around and like mowing lawn and trimming and doing yard work and stuff, and a lot of people could view that as, oh, they got all this work to do, right? And I kind of did. I was like, oh, I got to spend my afternoon. I could be doing something different or whatever, but then I just changed my perception of, okay, I've got 3 properties. That's a great blessing, and I'm the property manager of them. I'm the property manager, so I just kind of put that in my brain of like, I'm a property manager of my own properties instead of somebody else's.
Yeah.
So actually now I get excited about it, and I do a better job, and I spend more time on it than I did before. So
Yeah.
And
just changing the perception.
one property is going to be your new home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like being ready
It's
for
a big
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to just take a step back and like try and look at it from an outside perspective.
Well, and the other thing, kind of like tying it into what Bethany had mentioned about the maids, right, at the hotel, like they viewed it, when they viewed it as exercise, they actually got better results. Well, like I'm getting outside, getting sunlight, I'm burning a ton of calories, I'm getting a ton of steps in because I'm doing a lot of trimming and yard work brush. So I'm actually like thinking about it as, okay, I'm not only managing my property, getting yard work done, but I'm outside getting sunshine, I'm getting a lot of activity in, I'm sweating my butt off. At the end of the day, I feel accomplished and I feel good about it, and I get to do it multiple days a week, so it's kind of fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
When the head is the pillow, you
Yeah.
know you did a full day's work.
Yeah. And the same thing with like the story you tell yourself about exercise, right? If you tell yourself, oh, this is just what I'm doing to lose weight or what I'm doing to get in better shape, rather than like, oh, I do this to relieve my stress. I do this because I feel good when I do this. And
Continue. I have a point on that.
yeah, and so it's like if you view like a tough workout, it's just like, oh, it's just for losing weight, it's just for this, and you're just like, you just kind of feel empty afterwards, you feel drained. But then it's like, yeah, I do this to relieve my stress, to have better energy, and then you get stress relief and you get more energy out of it.
So, the other morning in the morning fit camp, I can't remember how the conversation got brought up, but I had asked somebody about why they do this. Why do they do the class at 5 a.m. 3 days a week? And they're like, well, it relieves a lot of stress, gives me energy for the day, and I'm just better. I feel better when I do it. And so I asked the rest of the class. We went one by one. Everybody shared their why. Why do they work out? Why do they come here at 5 a.m. 3 days a week? Every single one of them said virtually the same thing. That it makes them feel better, relieves stress, gives them more energy. They just like the way they feel when they do it. It was none of them said, "Oh, it's because I want to lose weight."
Yeah.
Not one.
And they've been here for the longest time.
And they've been here for a lot of them have been here for 7-8 years. A few of them 5-6 years. Yeah.
Consistently 3 days a week, 5 a.m. for 6, 7, 8 years sometimes.
It's impressive.
Right. About how you view it.
Yeah, I do it better than I do. Waking up that early.
Oh yeah. Okay, so section number 5, we're gonna talk about social media a little bit more in depth. So this is like the new shadow maker. So like, it can control your perception, or like, again, how you view somebody else's, what they post can then influence how you're perceiving it and how you take it. So social media is essentially the modern cave wall from Plato's cave, and so it's projecting filtered, curated, and often fake realities that becomes, oh, this is what truth is, because people are showing you curated versions of their life or curated snippets. Like you see a 10-second TikTok reel and you think that that's what their life looks like. And like, you were saying, Taylor, it doesn't show the whole story behind it, right? It doesn't show, okay, maybe like this part of their life looks really good, but then they're not showing you the other things that are about it, right? And so I've done some research on it. If you spend more time on like appearance-based platforms, you have lower body satisfaction. So like more time spent on social media, essentially you're comparing yourself whether you are conscious of it or not. You tend to compare yourself more to other people, lower body satisfaction. And then another study, Instagram increases body image concerns in young women, and like false comparisons lead to more anxiety, depression, disorder behaviors. And it doesn't have to just be about like your body too. You could be looking at other successful baseball players, or like various
Professionally.
people on a pedestal, right? And then, or professionally, right? It's like, yeah, okay, these people are doing so great in business, and like, you end up comparing yourself to them. So just keep in mind that you're not behind. You're just watching somebody else's highlight reel, and like keeping in mind that that's just a curated version, or just limit the time that you're on social media looking at that stuff. But yeah, try to curate your feed like you curate your food, right? So your diet isn't just what you put in your body. Your diet's also what you consume in media and information as well. So try to follow like real and diverse people. Stop letting the algorithms dictate how you feel about yourself and your personal identity.
And you showed me this app called Opal. It's
Yes.
helped me a lot. It blocks your social media for you.
Yeah.
So I use that app. I block it from like work hours, so 9 to 5. So it's not like I still have social media. Once I get home, relax, scroll, whatever I want to do. But in my work hours, one, it keeps me consistent with working and make sure that I'm getting all my stuff done on my to-do list. Because sometimes I would have the habit of I do one thing and I play on my phone, and I do one thing and I play on my phone, but then I don't get as much stuff done.
Yeah.
But now I get this done, I get this done, I get this done. That's once everything's done, I'm basically done with my work day, and then I go home and I can just chill out. So that's a good thing for me. I like doing that. I know, like as someone that is a disciplined person, there are still some things that get to me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So like social media is one thing. I just want to play on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm 20 years old. I don't, sometimes I just want to play on my phone, but
Getting games on your phone.
I got games on my phone. Yeah. But yeah, it really, that app really helped me definitely be more disciplined.
Right. And it helps just kind of like, oh, okay, like I don't need to be on this right now.
Yeah,
Because
I
like
don't
you'll go
need
and
to.
reach for it and be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And you kind of just like get that realization of it,
Yeah.
and so you can separate yourself from it a little bit more.
Or sometimes I think like I'm living my own life, but I'm watching other people live their life. Like I want to live my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like
Um,
this isn't reality. This is reality.
Yeah. It's called the Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Someone
Yep.
put their phone in Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's a show,
is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
I
show.
don't know that. But David Goggins, have you ever seen his Instagram?
Oh, yeah.
He always, okay, he posts crazy stuff, don't get me wrong, but he always posts a negative. He very consistently posts a negative.
He loves the haters.
He loves the haters. He posts his injuries. He posts his recovery, which is not always a beautiful recovery. Obviously, he's a crazy guy. He does crazy
Yeah.
stuff, so his recovery is going to be pretty crazy and pretty.
Well, it's
pretty
like
hard.
only half of his heart works.
Yeah.
He's got like 2 knees that have 0 cartilage
Yeah.
in it.
Yep. So I like his account. Even though he yells and screams a lot, which, yeah, it's David Goggins, I understand that, but he always posts the negatives.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people do that on social media.
Pretty real.
So,
Be real. Authentic.
mhm.
Hopefully this isn't too noisy. There's a lot of people working out there. Apologize for that.
It's probably okay. It's probably just our stuff.
No, it
It doesn't.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Anywho.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And our things died, but. Oh, well. All right, section 6, mental health, identity, and ownership. So, Beck's cognitive model of depression. Negative thoughts lead to negative feelings, lead to reinforce negative behaviors, which leads to more negative thoughts. So kind of an endless cycle there.
Yeah.
Solution, identity-based self-talk. I am someone who blank. Choose new lenses. I am healing. I am becoming. I am learning. Your mental health isn't only about fixing the external. It's often about reclaiming the narrative, the internal.
Because people will tend to like for the model of depression, that just, it's a spiral. It's not necessarily just like a cycle, it's a spiral, so it keeps going down and down and down. Whereas to get out of that, you have to like unspiral it, right? You got to go back up the other way. And that's through rewiring your thoughts, which will then change your feelings, which will then change your behaviors. And then change behaviors changes your thoughts, and then change your feelings, and then you all the way back up.
It takes time.
It does take time.
It's not like
And effort. Like you can't just like
effort.
you can't just like want it to happen. You have to like put in the work to do it.
Yeah, like like if I'm a negative person or I have bad mental habits, I'm not just gonna wake up tomorrow and say one thing and then oh, I'm a brainy person.
Yep,
I mean,
I'm
it takes
brainy.
time.
Yeah.
Practice,
Think of it-
practice.
Right. Yeah. Practice. Think of it like there's grooves in your mind. Like you know, like trails and like ruts. If somebody they say like if somebody walks the same path back and forth for years, it makes like this really long groove. And essentially, that's what's happening in your brain when you keep having the same thought patterns. It's like you're making a mental groove, and so naturally your brain goes into that path or that like, oh, this happened, so it means this, and you think of it negatively if that's your thought pattern. So then to rewire it, you have to make a new path that's alongside it, and it's like, okay, I'm going to view this positively instead, and it's obviously not as worn down because you haven't thought it as much, and it's a lot easier to fall into the path that you've already walked, right? So you got to go on the path less traveled, and like rewire it that way.
And nobody's perfect. It takes time for everyone.
Yeah.
Nobody is 100% like that all the time. You know?
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about rewriting the script?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So section 7, rewriting the script, practical tools to shift perception. Number 1, awareness. So notice your default language. If you ever say that I'm bad at this, I always fail, I hate the way my body looks, notice that, and like Lauren said, take a step back when you need to. Have the awareness to know maybe I shouldn't be saying that about myself or about other people.
Yeah.
Number 2, reframe. So replace it with something believable but not better. But better. I'm learning consistency. This is my warm-up phase. I'm becoming someone who shows up. So almost, in another word of reframing, like rewiring your brain to think in a different way. Get out of that groove, find another groove. Number 3, anchor. Choose 3 identity-based affirmations and repeat them daily. I honor my body with movement. I make nourishing choices. I'm not fragile. I'm adaptive. This is definitely a big one. I do this one almost every day. Again, like I said, I've had a lot of ad libs, so my ad libs like to come out, and I stay pretty consistent with these.
Yeah. To go back to like the beginning, the part where you know noticing your default language, saying I'm bad at this instead of saying that, it's like, oh, I have a lot of areas to improve on in this. Like I can get so much better at this. Right? It's like viewing it that way. You're like, oh wow, there's all these opportunities that I can get better. And that's way more optimistic and way more hopeful than saying I'm bad at this. It sounds very like finite. Whereas, and then if you look at, oh, I always fail, and it's like, I always keep trying.
Yeah.
That's another way to look at it. It's like I always keep trying. Like, yeah, okay, I've failed in the past, but I always keep trying. So looking at reframing it that way.
If you want to get better at those things too, surround yourself with people that do those things, right? Or read books. So you constantly want that. It helps you speed up the process of being more mentally tough, or like rewiring that circuit in your brain. If you're constantly putting that kind of information, that kind of talk and mentality in. So like reading books, there's a ton of, I guess they're kind of self-help books, but
Yeah.
Self-improvement.
self-improvement, leadership, self-development, and so reading those kinds of books,
Listening to podcasts.
listening to those kinds of podcasts, surrounding yourself with those kinds of people is all going to speed up that process of finding that new groove.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also go the other way. You could get worse and worse and worse and worse,
Yeah.
like you said, down the spiral if you're filling your brain with the opposite, all the bad news and stuff that's going on. And people just wake up and it's the first thing they listen to every single day.
Get off that
Your perception of
train ride.
perception of life and everything is just going to go down and down and down.
Yeah.
And it's like the people you spend a lot of your time with, if they talk in a very negative way, either like about themselves or about life in general, like if they're always stressed out or there's always some sort of obstacle, then if you keep hearing those patterns and that's how most people are brought up, right? They don't know any better. Like, in the cave, that's their reality. Like, this is what we're kind of born into. Of like, oh, you see this, and that means it's stressful. It's like, oh, you see this, and you're supposed to like complain about it. It's something to talk about, and it's like, yeah, you're sharing in the discomfort with other people, but again, the complaining about it, it's like, is it doing any good? Like, I get like talking to somebody if you've got something going on, and that can help relieve your stress. But then there comes a point where it's like, are you doing anything to change that? Or is it just like, the more problems that you have, the more you look for problems? Whereas if you start to try and look at the things to be grateful for, the silver linings of things, the more you look for that, then the more of that you'll find. So, yeah. Any other things to add?
Is that it?
That's about it.
I do have a final thought. This would be my advice for anybody listening. It would be something that can probably help you get into the right mindset of rewiring your brain is to start thinking about what you want your life to look like in the next 5 to 10 years. So sit down with a blank sheet of paper and start writing out, okay, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want to be doing professionally, personally? What does your day look like? Try to get it as descriptive and vivid as possible when you're writing this down, because then you can work backward. Okay, who do I need to become in order to achieve this goal? What do I need to be able to do to achieve this goal? That's something that I've done for years, and I still continue to do. Is I'm planning out a 10-year vision or 5-year vision. I just looked at my Google Docs from 2020, and I wrote in there that I wanted to buy or build my dream home in 5 years. Here we are 5 years later, and we're making it happen because I wrote it down and I focused so much attention and drive and motivation on doing that, accomplishing it, that it's actually becoming a reality. So I thought it was pretty powerful because I wrote it down and I looked at it every day and worked my butt off and started to make it happen. So if you write stuff down and you get super descriptive about it, there's a very high likelihood or a chance that you can actually achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I recommend all you do that if you have it. 5 to 10 year vision. What do you want your life to look like? Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Yeah.
On the same track of that, one thing that's really illuminating is writing down what the voices in your head or what your thoughts are saying. Well, it's not even your thoughts. It could just be, it's just the things that come across in your mind. It's not necessarily you or truth. It's just a thought pattern, right? And so if you write it down, whether that's good stuff, bad stuff, whether you say, oh, I'm bad, I'm this, I always do this, like blah, 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 write it all down. And then you can take it and say, okay, would I say this to a friend? And it's like, would I say this to somebody that I care about? And if it's a no, then it's like, ooh, okay, how do I rewrite this in a better lens? So instead of saying, oh, I always fail when I try this new diet endeavor, saying like, hey, I always keep trying, I always keep going. And saying, oh, I'm bad at this. It's like, hey, I have a lot of room to grow in this. And work on reframing those thoughts through writing first, because it's hard when your mind's going a million miles a minute. We have 70,000 thoughts a day. And like, what is it?
It's even looking at the words differently too.
Yeah.
Like failure, are only lessons. Like you learn something from every failure. You take away something. If you did it again, you wouldn't do it exactly the same way. If you didn't achieve what you were trying to achieve, you would do it differently. So you've picked up some sort of lesson in there, right? Every obstacle that you run into is an opportunity to overcome the obstacle. So it's just reframing even the way you think about those words that you are using. That can help as well.
Right.
And I would also challenge people to show, like if you told somebody, I always fail. Okay, show me the proof that you have always failed.
Yeah. Like, is that 100%
there's got to be
true?
one success in there somewhere. And then if there is, you can no longer say that to be true. You know what I mean? So,
Right. And it's like, oh, is that true that you always do that? And it's like, well, no, I don't. And it's like, okay. Or speaking about somebody else, like, oh, they're always this, or like, they're always in a bad mood. And it's like, are they actually always in a bad mood, or have you seen them in a good mood once in your life?
Right.
Well, yeah. And it's like, okay, so they're not always in a bad mood then, right? And so it's all about how you perceive things, the words you use shapes your thoughts, shapes your feelings, shapes your life.
nailed it.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Please,
Yeah.
please, no quotes.
We should have timed that out to cut it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can when it cuts.
Oh, okay,
I can
good.
trim it for the YouTube.
For the YouTube.
For the YouTube. All right, well that's it. Hopefully this is helpful. Stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one.
Like,
Right.